Hi everybody, so I hope you've read this question and attempted it before you watch this video just to, it'll just help the learning a bit better, but I'll go over it now. Okay, so the first thing one of the things you need to figure out here is how long will this investment be for? And it's from 2021 to 2032. So that's 11 years. If we subtract 2032, subtract 2021, that's 11 years, okay? It's $5,000 invested, and the average annualized return is 9.55%. And we're saying that that is just like APY, annual percentage yield, okay? So this is annual compound interest, not monthly, not daily, it's annual, right? And so after 1 year, you would have 5,000 times, 1 plus 0.0955. We've got to turn that percentage into a decimal. 9.55% is 0.0955. So after 1 year, you would have your $5,000, but $477 interest as well, right? With the compound interest formula, after 2 years, that would be to the power of 2, you would have $6,000, right? After 3 years, you would have 6,500 roughly. After 4 years, you would have 7,200. So how much would you have in the investment after 11 years? You'd have $13,636.60. Okay, so that is the answer to the nearest cent. And that actually rounds down because there's a 3 here. But my question to you is, where should we round this? I mean, does it make sense to round this answer to the nearest cent or to the nearest dollar? What do you think? Should you round to the nearest cent or the nearest dollar? What do you think? Think about this question in real life. Okay, so the answer, I guess, or the opinion is, well, this is not a fixed interest rate, okay? This was what the investment, this portfolio, this mixture of stocks and bonds and whatnot, this was how it has performed in the past, but there's no guarantee it'll go in the future. In fact, you might lose money, right? So it's not a fixed interest rate. So to me, it makes no sense to round to the nearest cent or the nearest dollar. So I'm suggesting just, round to the nearest, say, $1,000, right? And if we round to the nearest $1,000, what would we have? 14,000, right? So that would be rounded to the nearest $1,000. Now, we could, again, we could lose money or whatever. So just for fun, just going to go over this example here, year 0, 1, 2, all the way up to 11. I'll just highlight that and get the little black plus and drag this down to 11 years. And we started with, so it's equals 5,000 star 1 plus 0.0955 to the power of the little hat, the years, right? And I can click on that and drag down and see that we have our 13,600, or roughly our 14,000 after 11 years, okay? And so that's what it would look like on a graph. But, and that's an exponential function. See how it curves a bit? So the more you have in there, the more it grows, right? Because you're earning interest on top of interest. Now, what happens if you just take your $5,000 and put it in a coffee can and bury it in the backyard? Well, you would have 5,000 to start with, and you would have 5,000 the next year, and 5,000 the next year, and in fact 5,000 every year. And so 11 years later, you still have 5,000, which is a lot less than what you might have gotten, what you hopefully will get by investing in it, right? But you got to remember that we could also lose money. So it could be 5,000 times, for example, You could, let's say, lose, I don't know, let's say we lose 6% per year, right? On average, right? To the power of the years. Oop. And drag that down. So that means by 11 years later, we'll have $2,500 instead of five, right? So it's you could potentially lose money each year. You're probably, or in fact, in a coffee can, you would have the same amount. What's probably going to happen is some years it goes up, some years it goes down, right? But if you wait it out, then over time it should trend upwards. That's usually how investments work. That it's the key is to forget about it, leave it there for a good long time, and those fluctuations don't matter so much. And 10, 20, 30 years later, it was well worth it, right?